Hello, fabulous Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of August 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, this month, as I looked at the sky for you and where it came to love, I thought it is partly what's happening just before you enter this month, but really such important decisions are going to be made and really important lessons that culminate right around the middle of the month. And so just before you enter this month, you are going to have Venus standing across from the sky from Pluto and also speaking with Uranus as well. And so this tells me that as you're ending the month, some really strong, as you're ending last month, as you're ending the month of July, really strong emotions are taking place. You are having some real wake-up calls where it comes to your relationship, if you're in one. If you're not in one, you're having wake-up calls where it comes to why you're not in one. What is it that has gotten you to this moment? And ultimately, this is so good. Not just ultimately, it is really good because this ultimately is trying to show you what it is that you need to do to be more free, what it is that you need to change more deeply to experience a greater love, and what it is that you need to do to be more honest with yourself about where you are right now and what you don't like so that you can start moving yourself in the direction that you do like. And that is how I would characterize this month for you. In fact, just as the month starts, Venus is speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn. Venus in your sign, speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn, right now moving through a part of the sky that does have an association with love as well. But it is the kind of love that has to do with the joy of love, flirtation, the feelings that love provides, and just really enjoying another person's company, experiencing a greater sense of value and enjoyment of your life because there's somebody else there that you are sharing this with. And it also just has to do with, if you're open to it, has to do with dating and meeting people and flirting and just the aliveness that love can bring. Now, Saturn has been moving through this part of the sky, as I spoke about in Saturn Special, since the late part of 2012. And so Saturn just in this part of the sky makes it a little hard to have those types of really natural flirty connections. However, Saturn in this part of the sky does show you what work you need to do on yourself if you're going to move yourself towards greater love and greater wisdom as well. But especially when we're talking about romantic love, certainly. And so you add to this Venus, the goddess of romantic love, moving through your sign right now. And really, as you enter this month, you've just had late in July, you have these really strong moments where a lot of emotions are right there on the surface. And then you enter this month and you make a choice, you make a decision. And this really is such an important moment for you and such a power moment for you. And I think that those of you born right smack dab in the middle of your sign, so more or less around the 5th of July, are going to feel this energy most strongly, but every one of your sign will be feeling this. And this is really where a lot of things are going to come together for you powerfully so. This is where I see you. Yes, it's decision time. It's clarity time. It's truth time. But it really is a truth that empowers you. It's not the kind of truth that at first sort of irks you, which is very possible at the end of July, as you're finishing July, in the last days of July, that is possible. But as you start August, you're clear, you are grounded, and you know what it is that you need to do to move yourself towards a love that is grounded and a love that really has the potential to last for a lifetime, which I think is sort of a personal desire, a personal drive that is something that every Cancer is moving towards, is that sense of stability within a relationship. And so you really help yourself tremendously in the early part of the month to move in that direction. And then Venus will stay in your sign until the middle of the month. And it's just after the full moon that Venus leaves your sign. And this particular full moon, as every sort of celestial phenomenon has its sort of like very literal, immediate understanding, there are also deeper spiritual understandings of everything that takes place in the sky. And the level of consciousness you bring, as I like to say, the level of consciousness you bring to the sky will determine how you experience that sky, how you experience your chart. And so this particular full moon is also speaking to among other things, is speaking to, it's a part of the sky that has to do with endings that you choose. It is a place where you understand what has served its purpose, but it's based in choice. It's based in awareness. It's not so much as the part of the sky, this mini astrology class, but the sign just before yours in the sky is also part of your sky that would be associated with endings as well. But they are generally endings that are more karmic in nature, endings that maybe we don't have a lot of control over, and endings that at times are more energetic than anything. But with the endings that are indicated with this particular full moon that's taking place in the middle of the month, just before Venus leaves your sign, I mean, this is endings that you are choosing. You have a solid understanding of just where it is your current path is going and what it is that needs closure in order for you to move in a more empowered direction, and a direction that feels lighter, that just feels lighter on an energetic level. And there is the possibility with this, I got to be honest with you, because this particular full moon is in a part of the sky that has to do with secrets that you keep consciously. So secrets that you are aware of, that you are keeping. And given that it's a full moon and the truth tends to come out in the light of the full moon, given the way Saturn is speaking with this full moon, you just want to be aware that there may be some things, if you have some things that you haven't wanted coming out, this might be a time that things end up being aired, that things, it's like the truth has to come out, and for you especially. And so you want to just watch. It is a truth that sets you free, very much so. But you do just want to be mindful that as you are being open and as you are being revealing, that you are also being respectful and that you are also thinking about what is the kindest choice to make in this moment for anyone that might be involved, okay? And so that's your decision as to how you're going to approach it. Of course, I always advise if you do something, we all have sort of things that we like to keep close to the heart. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing something that you know you wouldn't be proud of if other people knew, then that's up to you to decide what works for you there and what doesn't work for you there. And we also know that a lot of times it isn't so much about what we're proud of, but what we think other people might be ready for or not. There are certain things that, yes, they're private, they're special, they're close to your heart, nothing wrong with that. Other things, maybe it's not so much of a, it's not such an ethical motivation that is guiding us. And so really it's up to you to decide what works for you, what doesn't, and to just be aware as well as you're making these choices. And I think that because of the intensity of emotions, the things that are coming up right at the end of July, and then we enter August, and then things are coming out, things are coming forward, I would advise you, as July is ending, be mindful of the choices you're making, because the possibility is that you make a choice towards the very end of July that ends up being something that may come out, given once the full moon does arise. So if you are in the context of a relationship with all these energies I've talked about, it does look like you sort of have a moment of honesty. There may even be a little bit of a, as we start the month, or as we finish last month, as we start this month, there may even be a little bit of really airing things out, for some of you more passionately than others. But it ultimately ends up being really good for the relationship, because it helps you to understand where you are and what it is you need to do if you're going to move this relationship towards greater stability. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, I see this more as sort of a reality moment, like, oh my goodness, okay, this is who you are. Wow. And from that place, you are deciding, does this person fit where I want to go and do they not? Can I see myself with this person over the long haul or not? And that's going to be an important choice that you are making. And I think you'll be ready to really embrace that choice once we get you to the middle of the month. And those of you who are open to love, I do think that there's going to be an understanding. This particular, all these different celestial phenomena taking place and this full moon taking place is really about you letting go of excuses, letting go of barriers, getting rid of anything that no longer serves you in your move towards greater love as well. And I do think that if you are somebody who's single, There is the possibility of you making a meaningful connection as we start the month that really has a lot of promise for you. But because of this particular full moon, there's also the possibility, I gotta say, that the connection that you make, I just want you to be a little bit mindful that you are not sharing too much too fast, okay? And that you are going with the process as it feels right to you. But what you don't want is to have this be like a therapeutic moment for you if you are just starting off with somebody. Allow these things to be revealed slowly in their own time. And understand a healthy measure of boundaries as well that the other person may have and that you may have as well. And that'll give this bond a greater chance to last in the bigger term. But I do think that in the middle of the month, it does look like some of your own things may come up. And it's going to be up to you to decide what you're going to carry into the future and what you're not. What secrets are appropriate for you to say to this new person and what maybe is not. And so that's going to be your choice as well. But regardless of what you choose, just trust your intuition, trust yourself, and it is going to move you towards greater love. Overall, I love this month for you because it does move you towards greater stability. I love this month for you because you're letting go of baggage and you know you're letting go of baggage. And I love this month for you because it does lead you to a sense of liberty. It moves you to a sense of self-understanding, and it certainly moves you towards a greater love than you've known before. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.